you going, guys? Oscar here. Today we are going to talk about stress. So let's get straight into it. Okay, we're living in a society where everyone is stressed. Majority of people, and I mean at least over 90%, are stressed and they don't even know it. To them, they just have this commercial surface level understanding that stress kills, stress is bad, don't stress. I don't stress. But there are some interesting points that I'm going to talk about today that will make you think about stress different. And it's more than an abstract subject. It's something that we really need to take into consideration and start to manage because most of the visits to the doctors are stress related. When your hormones are out of balance, all sorts of things start to go wrong. So how it works is that we have a physiological response within our body, and this physiological response is known as the flight or fight mode. Now, we've adapted this physiological response, and we haven't actually evolved for us to adapt a new response for modern day society. So, our modern day society, we're on our computers, we have these deadlines, we're living in a very fast paced society. We're always so attached to some sort of external stimulant, whether it be our phone, laptop, TV. And physiologically, we haven't really adapted a response that kind of is customized to handle such artificial stimulant or stimuli coming in. So the physiological response that we do have, called the fight or fight mechanism, is linked to back in the day, going back when we were living with nature. So when we were living with nature, I'm walking down the street, or it wouldn't even be a street, I'm walking down the jungle, and what is a threat or a stressor to me is going to be a lion or a tiger or a bear or something that I find threatening. Or maybe someone else trying to kill me, a really threatening situation where then my response to that danger goes into what we call the fight or flight mode. So as soon as I process danger, what happens is that my body goes through all these physiological responses, such as my pupils being diluted, my heart starts to beat faster, so it sends more blood to my extremities, blood pressure rises. Okay, glucose is released from the liver, so I can now produce more energy. My lungs start to breathe quick and more rapid, so I can start to get more oxygen. Okay, oxygen meaning short bursts of oxygen, not that long, deep breathing. Okay, and all these other things, such as my digestive system shuts down because what I ate this morning isn't really important for me to digest while I'm trying to run from a lion. So all these things happen in the body that pretty much allows me to produce energy so I can deal with the threat. So once I deal with the threat and I get away, I'm back into the jungle doing what I do back with nature. So physiologically, this is what it's designed for: flight or fight. Or if I'm hunting and I have to go into fight mode to get some food, and my body releases a lot of adrenaline, so I can go out and I can kill or I can gather some sort of foods. And this is what our bodies are designed for. We are, natural beings that live on Earth, which is a natural planet. This artificial planet called cities and cars and all this man-made stuff, we're not really adapted to today. So that's pretty much what the physiological response does. Now, living in today's modern society, what is the line? Okay, the line is work, relationships, physical appearance, internet connection, loud noises, traffic jams. The list goes on. Kids, your partner, neighbors, work, boss. Anything that doesn't go your way is now going to trigger that physiological response. Okay, and before, back in the day, it was more of a like physical stress. We had to run, we see the danger. Now today, being a human being in today's society, we have mental and emotional stress, which are far more worse, because one of the most unique thing about being a human being is we can make thought more real than an actual experience. So when we get really focused on a negative thought, we dwell on it and our body starts to respond, and then it goes into that physiological response, and we could just be laying in bed about to go to bed, and we wonder why we can't sleep because we've just triggered off some thought pattern that is associated to a negative emotion. And now the projection is going to be that I'm feeling stressed. And, feeling stressed doesn't mean, oh my God, it's such an umbrella term that has so many different avenues when it comes to, what it actually, like what triggers it off. Anything can trigger it off, really, anything, you know. So now let's find out how it works on a hormonal level. Now, on top of your kidneys, you have these glands called the adrenal glands. They're like in a little, triangular shape. They're little glands, and your adrenal glands pumps out these hormones. Okay, that the two main ones are adrenaline, also known as epinephrine, and cortisol. Now, when they have a natural function within the body. So when we have a real life stress and we're in danger, yes, we do need these physiological responses to take place. So, cortisol and adrenaline, cortisol breaks down carbohydrates, and, the liver breaks down glucose and adrenaline, and it gives you all this energy to then obviously deal with the threat at hand. And then once we go back into a relaxed state, then, our adrenal glands aren't so active, and the balance in the body takes place, okay, homeostasis. Now, when we're constantly stressed and we don't know how to relax, it's like running from a lion 24/7. And when that happens, the adrenal glands are overactive. And now, when one gland is overactive, the other glands don't secrete hormones on an optimum or natural level. So, your thyroid, your pancreas, even your testosterone levels, your ovaries, your estrogen, you know, there's so many glands within the body. Even your pituitary gland is out of function. So when our adrenal glands are overactive, it causes a imbalance in our hormonal centers because other glands stop secreting to allow the overactivation of the adrenal glands. And when we start to do this daily, monthly, yearly, it causes our body to go out of balance. The homeostasis in our body is just in a shamble. I mean, it's just out of whack. And when this happens, then we're headed for danger because we don't know how to be at ease. Dis-ease. We're not at ease, and our body will physically manifest some sort of disease to let us know, hey, you're out of alignment. There's no balance. Okay, and it's all happening because our hormonal centers are not in alignment. And if you link back any majority of the serious diseases out there, it happens because our hormones are out of whack, our chemicals are out of whack. There's no balance in the body. And in order to understand how this works, you have to understand how the parasympathetic nervous system and the sympathetic nervous system works, and that's part of your autonomic nervous system. I'm not going to go into detail on this video and get too technical. All I really want to express is that stress is more than just an abstract subject. Okay, we know now all these physiological things happen. We know that we don't need to see a lion for us to become stressed. Even loud noises. Have you ever had a neighbor play music really loud? What happens when you can't sleep? How frustrated do you get up? You are just so irritated, and this is what stress does. Once we have programmed and rehearsed stress response to a certain point, that it has become integrated within our personality, that we no longer have to even think that we're stressed. We are just stressed. And because everyone else is around us is stressed, it becomes quite normal. Now, what happens is that we start to get really irritated very easily. The ability to manage our moods is compromised. Our reproductive system is compromised. A lot of people try to go out and they can't conceive, and because, in some cases, because their stress levels are through the roof, and that's a fact. Okay. What also happens is that we have digestive problems. Always constipated. People are constipated. We go to the doctors, we get a laxative, but that's not going to help us because there is something signaling our digestive system to be shut down. Stress, the hormone cortisol, when it's overactive, it starts to shed away brain cells. Our neural networks start to shed away, and our memory starts to eat away our hippocampus, and we just don't remember as well as we do. When was the last time you were stressed and you're looking for something you couldn't find it, and it was probably in your hand? A part of the brain called the amygdala starts to be enlarged. The amygdala is part of the limbic brain, which is responsible for the flight or flight response, which makes you sensitive, hypersensitive. Now you're being irritated very easily. You're on edge. You have a temperament. The most insignificant things can just trigger off a avalanche of negative energy, and you're sitting there shaking your leg, mumbling under your breath, and all this nervous energy is building up in your body, and the brain has the ability to hold on to so much nervous energy. Once it becomes overloaded, it will start to discharge it to different parts of your body. My back, my chest, my neck. I don't feel good today. Anxiety. All right, anxiety. Why we have anxiety, panic attacks. It's directly related to the stress response. We've stressed and we've rehearsed and we've programmed to the point that you're sitting there on a nice sunny day enjoying the sunset, the nice view. The surroundings are very natural, and all of a sudden, for no reason, your hands get clammy, your pupils dilate, you start breathing really heavy and fast, rapid breaths, your heart starts beating really fast, start getting really sweaty. What's that? These are the signs of a panic attack, anxiety attack, and it's happening on an unconscious level because we program the stress response so much that it has become a background program, and within your brain, your neocortex, which is just related for all, which is like an artifact of your past and it has millions and billions of associations, something has triggered off unconsciously. You're not conscious of the stress response, and now it's triggered, and because the stress hormones are so heavy in your body that this avalanche and this cascade of stress hormones have taken over your body. You have no awareness why, because you've done it so much in the past that's now it's being triggered on an unconscious level, and now you're feeling on a surface level a panic attack because the lack of breathing or the lack of relaxation in your body, you don't know how to relax, and this is what happens when people have panic attacks. Okay, now once you have all these triggers and all these things are going on, you mentally become exhausted, physically exhausted. So we wake up and it's like, I need my coffee. I need my coffee. Don't talk to me unless I have my coffee. We take these stimulants to camouflage and camouflage and pretty much fabricate the real deeper meaning of what's going on within our own physiological system, that we're overstressed. So the stimulants are now camouflaging this, and we're like a racehorse that's been overtrained, overexhausted, and we're on go, go, go. Coffee, 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 V, Red Bull, just to get up and meet the deadlines. Then what does that do? It just really, it just stresses our body even more. Caffeine just causes more stress, and now we're headed for real danger. Yeah, you can do this for years, but once you start doing it after a certain amount of time, it's like a rope that's been pulled really hard and the threads are going, and eventually it'll break. It will break. It starts to affect your telomeres, and telomeres is something, again, it's more technical. I'm not going to go into. I will go into in another video, but basically means that it starts to really malfunction your DNA. Okay, stress will alter your cognitive control. Okay, then we go exercise when we're so stressed, and then after we exercise, we're meant to relax, but we can't relax because we don't know how. Watching TV is not relaxing because we're engaged to a artificial stimulant, to more electromagnetic energy that's coming in, and it's just really not really stressing us. It's just, if anything, it's causing more stress. It's not relaxing us at all. You know what I mean? Because there's still stimuli coming in. The bottom line is we need to learn how to relax. Okay, now I have techniques and methods that start from 2 minutes a day that go all the way to 10 minutes, to 15 minutes, to 20 minutes. And, I can give you the methods and the tools that I have found in my research and my experience. I've traveled all over the East. I've been to the temples. I've been with the monks, and I've extracted the philosophy from the East, and I've come up with my own protocol and how to manage stress, starting off from the most simplest steps, going on to more of an advanced level, just a very systematic progress, which I will share in other videos. The last thing I'm going to talk about is sleep. And how many people have abnormal sleeping patterns, it's because why? Because the stress is now this nervous energy that is built up, accumulated, and it's holding on to certain parts of your body that that disable that disenable it to relax. And when you cannot truly relax, can you go into a deep sleep? You're meant to go into 4 different states when you sleep, 90-minute cycles, all the way down to your delta state, which is REM, which you feel rejuvenated. And when we can't get into that deep level of sleep, we are not going to feel rejuvenated. We're going to wake up tired. We're going to wake up many times in the night, and we're going to start to think. And when we start to think, excessive thinking, another form of stress, okay, we're going to get more stress. And next thing you know it, we have lost that enthusiasm, that natural connection, that alignment with the present, that joyful state. We do not have that synergy, that harmony, that synchronicity with life. And these are the methods and tools that I will teach in one of my other videos. And just be aware that stress is more than just this label. And what I hope to do is throughout my videos is to educate people on stress. And I do seminars on stress, and it's something that I'm very passionate about, and it's something that I'm going to make it a lifetime goal for myself, just to go out there and educate people that they can manage stress and live this healthy life, and give themselves a chance to really bring out a better version of themselves and really tackle life at their full potential. All right, thanks for listening.